Welcome back to Ringer Tailgate. I'm your host, Tate Frazier. We have 2 weeks of college football under our belt. You saw us on Saturday live reacting to the biggest upset of the weekend in Tuscaloosa, but there were some big games that we haven't talked about and we haven't reacted to. But first and foremost, let's say hello to the legends on this show. First and foremost, Van Lathan. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
LSU 1-0. I am fucking ready to go, Tate.
Yeah, your takes are aging very well in a time where takes are, not aging well for some other experts out there. So shout out to you. And also shout out to our other legend on the program. We got Joel Anderson on the show. Joel, good to see you, man.
TCU 1-0, prime time, Monday. Only game in the country, man. Everybody tuned in to see the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, they had a lot of disrespect, and we'll get into that game, I'm sure. We got reactions. We got big questions. We got Big Van on campus. They're already laughing at me. I cannot say my North Carolina Tar Heels are 1-0. They are quite the opposite. They might be an offer this season, but we'll get to all that because we got a great show here. This is Wednesday. We get a lot more fun, a lot of conjecture, a lot of takes, a lot of opinions that are out there. But first, we got to get to our presenting sponsor. Shout out to our friends at FanDuel. This is Ringer Tailgate presented by FanDuel, and college football Saturdays are already delivering. Every game means something right now. Ranking shift, upsets hit, and the best place to stay on top of it all, FanDuel. Whether you're riding a noon kickoff or betting the late games, FanDuel lets you bet it your way. Same game parlays, live betting, player props, alt lines, whatever your angle is, it lives in the app. So if you're watching all the action, bet on it now with FanDuel. Download the app and head to FanDuel.com/tailgate and make every Saturday count. The Ringer is committed to responsible gaming. Please visit rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available and listen to the end of the episode for additional details. Now we turn all eyes to our one big reaction. We all have one big reaction from the games that happened Sunday and beyond. And Joel, I'll lay it up to you. A little alley-oop here for the Horned Frogs. Absolute domination, discombobulation on the side of North Carolina football. The opening drive is something that I will remember for a long time, and everything else I will wipe away like I am Will Smith and Men in Black. But Joel Anderson, your one big reaction from TCU UNC.
So I'm going to try to be measured in my words because I don't want to hurt your feelings, Tate.
Okay? It's okay. How can you hurt someone that's been so hurt? You know what I mean? I am used to that. This is Carolina football.
Historically, we kind of put a historic ass whooping on y'all, but neither here nor there. So obviously it's too early to make any firm conclusions about how this is going to go or whatever. But you know what would tip me off to the idea that maybe Bill Belichick doesn't get the whole college thing? The pregame interview with Holly Rowe. Where he's doing the, hoodie is kind of my thing. And, I hope the game doesn't, he was just talking. He was the same impassive, low energy dude that he was in New England. And I'm like, that's cool. If you're the Patriots head coach and you've won all these Super Bowls, the tickets will sell themselves if you're good. That's not how college football works. Like, unless you're a major power, in LSU or, Georgia, somebody like that, you only get the nation's attention for a few precious moments, right? Like, the audience is only going to pay attention to you for so long. And that includes teenagers, that includes transfers, all these people that are looking at all these other options. They've got Florida State, Miami. Bro, show a little enthusiasm, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sell your program, sell yourself. And I don't think Bill Belichick is dumb. Right, so I know he knew that his team wasn't good. He was at practice just like more than anybody else. He's like, man, I'm just piecing this together with some chicken wire and Scotch tape. You know what I mean? But like, at least put on a show for us, and that's what I thought. I was like, it just seems to me, my big swing is that maybe Bill Belichick doesn't quite get the college thing. Not a surprise. He's never done it before. He's an old man. He's 73 years old. Like, it's not as, but if you're going to do this, if this is more than just a money play or a chance to show to people, hey, man, I deserve to be in the NFL, or if it's more than, hey, man, maybe y'all could hook my boy up, Steve, with a job when I leave, like maybe he might want to take this thing over. If it's more than that, then I just think that you're not going to be able to be the guy you were all those years in New England. You're going to have to do a little something else. And that's kind of what I think. I was like, hey, man, Bill, show a little pep, bro.
To be honest with you, that was my whole take. I don't know that he has any pep left. I think all the pep is being drained from him pretty regularly. I think he has a pep drainer. I think we got the best version of Bill Belichick we could have gotten.
He needs some Pep Sid after that.
Game. The fact that he got to the game, that he was able to leave her for 1 second. I saw her on the field, Tate. I saw her. Tate, you know what? You know what's funny about you, Tate? You're compromised. You're compromised on the show. I'm calling it out. Okay. Tate is with Big Carolina. He's a part of Big Carolina. And he is not allowed to come on Ringer Tailgate, the cathedral of college football talk, and talk about the fact that, number one, Bill Belichick coached that game like a man that's being kept up all night. Okay. That's a fact.
He's tired.
He's tired. And then number two, as the game went on and on and on, it got more and more comical. First drive, they come out there, it's fine. We're all watching it. Everybody's like, even Bill's hit me up. Bill's like, oh my God, they're going to win the national championship, all that stuff. And then they just started putting Bell to ass in a new way, brother. With Michael Jordan there. How you go out like that in front of Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan, Lawrence Taylor, Mia Hamm, Randy Moss, Teddy Bruschi, Nick Saban, everybody seemingly on Belichick's side going into that game. You watch the college game day guys get on the field, make the picks. And the problem was that TCU heard all of that, right, Joel? I mean, Sonny Dykes said after the game, all they heard was disrespect towards TCU, and they have gone through it before. They lost in that overtime game to Coach Prime, and this was quite the contrary. I mean, this was absolute demolition, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really hard on Sonny Dykes, right? My thought all along was that if you're going to fire Gary Patterson, the guy that has convinced so many other FBS programs or FCS programs that they can beat TCU. Like, TCU is a miracle. That is not a program that you're supposed to be caring about. Gary Patterson turned them into a program that is a national program. And if you're going to replace Gary Patterson with somebody, I wanted it to be Deion. And there's records. I was like, yo, man, we should have got Deion when Deion was available. But if we had to have Sonny Dykes, I was like, okay, cool. And then I just saw the erosion of the program over the last couple of years. And I just saw, like, in terms of discipline and structure. But man, they looked about as good as they had as any time since that semifinal win over Michigan. I like to remind Michigan that we beat y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to cheat, do all that stuff y'all be doing. It didn't matter to us, you know? And so look, he's Josh Hoover. He kept Josh Hoover, the quarterback. That's a sign of good team culture, man. You know what I mean? Like, there was other money out there. There's bigger opportunities, but he wanted to stay right there in Fort Worth. We got that boy Kavori and Barnes. He built a little bit like a fire hydrant, you know? He's cold. Looks like he's pieced together a nice roster. So I'm excited about this potential year. But I mean, the other side of that is that, I don't know, man, y'all look kind of sorry. So who's to say? I mean, what am I really taking from that? Because who did you like on your team on Monday? Like, who did you're like, oh man, that guy looked good. Was there somebody? Max Johnson?
Max Johnson maybe is the saving grace, right? There's kind of the Brady aspect of it. They're like, he's a cerebral quarterback that they put in. But TCU had already, called the frogs off at that point, that they were basically done with that game. And honestly, the saddest part of the game was TCU not going for a score late in that game in the fourth quarter. They decided not to go for 50 points. And that was almost even sadder that, they sat over there and said, we don't want to embarrass Bill Belichick, but so much. So I asked you, Van, simple question. Is the Belichick era already over? Like, is this too much of a loss for them to come back from at some point? I mean, Jimmy Johnson did it with the Cowboys against him when he was with the Browns in his first game as a head coach. So he's bounced back before. Can he bounce back again?
The toughest part about UNC football right now is if they sucked in a regular year, nobody would be caring. Nobody would notice. Right? The program has been hovering around relevance for the last couple of years. Mac Brown had them doing a couple of things, at least being interesting. Drake May. They've had some
Sam Howell.
things. They have some stuff going on down there. But now it's going to be all eyes on North Carolina. Just like it was all eyes on Prime when he began his tenure in Colorado. And the thing is this, if it's all eyes on you and, you have a good season, that's great. It builds untold brand equity outside and inside of the college football sphere. But if you shit the bed, then you are subject to the ridicule, part of the ridicule that Coach Prime was subjected to his first season when he lost some pretty big games. So we will get to see now what kind of college football coach Bill Belichick is. Can he acclimate to the culture? Can he get this team of teenagers and guys in their early 20s ready to play again after just getting boat raced on national television like this? And I'll say something else. Even though this is kind of a stupid observation, you see all of these people that are saying Bill Belichick is not a great coach without Tom Brady. That's a really dumb thing to say. I'll tell you guys why. Tom Brady was a 7th-round draft pick that Bill Belichick noticed was a good orchestrator of his offense and his team and then put in a position to win. The greatest coaching move of Bill Belichick's career is seeing what he had in Tom Brady. So if Bill Belichick doesn't get any credit for doing anything else in his coaching career, that's one thing, maybe the best move in history. So his coaching bona fides, they exist. But now, we are going to see just what kind of coaching job he can do when he is a fish out of water, when he is in something new. And I'm not talking about something new as far as, okay, I'm saying, because he should be used to that by now. You know what I'm saying? Tate, I want to see how many times I can turn Tate red on this podcast. But yeah, we're going to see what they're made of, and it's going to all play out in front of the entire college football watching public.
Yeah, and I do think this is a great quote after the game. This was from The Athletic via a coordinator in the ACC. The quote is, "It's really, really important for all of us who have come up in college football to, quote, kick his ass this year." And I think that's the facet that I think Belichick may be underestimated. As much as, the ass might be getting kissed, he may be kissing other asses. We don't know, Van. But again, gotcha. I will
you saw them Bill Bottoms too, then, huh? You looked at them and said, "Okay,
they're gonna want to kick his ass," and I think that's where we stand right now in North Carolina football. They will be tested every single week because every team that plays them has an opportunity to embarrass Bill Belichick. And you mentioned, Joel, guys that stood out in that game. I thought Jordan Dwyer was the real star of that game. There was Michael Jordan in the booth, there was Jordan on the sidelines, but then you got Jordan Dwyer on the field, and he was the real Jordan to watch in that game. So I wanted to give some love to him as well. So TCU, they handle business. That's the one big reaction from you, Joel. Van, I turn to you. Another big game on Saturday night. One big reaction. LSU-Clemson. Your Tigers handle business. And your thoughts, the Nuss Bus is what they're calling it. Garrett Nussmeier looked like the best quarterback and player potentially in the country.
Yeah, we've been saying that for a while, Nuss Bus. You like that little rhyme right there. Look, LSU's legit. All right, I picked LSU to lose this game. This is one of the predictions I did not get right this weekend. I think a lot of people picked LSU to lose this game. And if you did, you have good reason why. LSU, with an offensive line that was a patchwork offensive line, where we're replacing 4 starters, had to go to Clemson and play against what a lot of people thought was the best defensive line in the country. And they did it. And they didn't just hold up. They looked competent, confident, and cocksure on the offensive line. We made blocks. We ran the ball for 108 yards, not 208 yards. We didn't run the ball like we had, maulers and graders and Leonard Fournette in the backfield, but we ran it enough to keep the offense moving and to move those guys off of the ball and get positive yardage, and for that to be a facet in our offense, which it wasn't last year. We also got fantastic play on the backside of the defense. Mansour Delane, Jordan Gilbert, who had to play because A.J. Halsey was suspended for the first half of the game because Clemson snitched on him, right? And he was up to the task. The linebackers, Whit Weeks, Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins makes the big play at the end of the game, gets the pressure on Cade Klubnik to make him throw the ball errant and us to get out of Clemson with a win. I cannot really think of a unit from the LSU Tigers that did not play well on Saturday night. I'm not saying that everybody played fantastic, that they played perfectly, but that was a game that LSU controlled, both offensively and defensively, in a game where Garrett Nussmeier looked not just like a guy who can make all the throws. We already know that about Garrett Nussmeier, but a guy who can operate an offense. When you watch what he was able to do at the line of scrimmage, put players in different positions, react to what Clemson was showing him, pre-snap motions, all of that stuff. Garrett looks like, to me, the most comfortable quarterback in college football right now. And with the pieces that he has around him, if the offense can continue to grow, we'll see what they do against Louisiana Tech this week. That's a live scrimmage. If the offense can continue to grow, you're looking at a really dangerous team to make a deep playoff run. And I know that Joel must be so upset with the success of the Tigers.
He's seething.
Him being the number one Tiger hater in the world. I'm sorry we had to mash it up for you, Joel.
Well, no, so here's the thing about that is that y'all were going against Dabo, though, you know? And it helps because I ain't really no Dabo fan, you know, and to your credit, LSU looked good. I will give you your props, man. Y'all look solid. You know, if you want to say that Nuss is the best quarterback in the country, that's fine. You know, I can't disprove that until later. You know, the evidence right now says, hey, he looked really good in a very tough spot. That's fine. But I'll have plenty of chances to hate on LSU. Can I just?
It's a long season.
Is somebody like, why do people think Cade Klubnik is a first round draft pick at quarterback? Like, what am I would love to know like what I'm missing, because everybody keeps saying, oh man, Cade Klubnik, first round quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? Like, how many, I've not really seen him have a game against a great defense and been like, yeah, man, that's the guy right there, you know? And so like I'm looking at Clemson, and this was a whole bunch of people picked Clemson this year to be a national championship contender,
most talented team in the country, right? That's kind of their moniker.
Like, dog, they got a converted wide receiver playing running back. They have decent receivers, and Antonio Williams got hurt in that game. But I'm like, okay, like I don't see Sammy Watkins out there. You know what I mean? So and for that vaunted defense again, like Van is saying. The LSU controlled the lines of scrimmage. This is seemed to return basically everybody along both lines. So I'm like, well, for all the hype that I heard about Clemson this year, I just didn't, you know, man. Now maybe LSU was so overwhelming and so great, and Van could be so excited because he dominated a team. His team dominated a team that is, you know, thought to be a national championship contender. But I didn't see that out of Clemson. You know,
this is what I'll say about Clemson. This is what I'll say about Clemson. Number one. Klubnik over the last year, as far as over the later part of last year, should I say, really started to come on. And he did have good numbers against Texas in the playoff. He was able to move the ball, throw the ball around. And I think what people were seeing or what people expected, I think this happens a lot during the college football offseason, is you see somebody start to grasp the offense and start to move the ball around, and particularly at quarterback, start to make rhythm throws, start to use their feet like Cade Klubnik was to get comfortable in what it is that they're doing, and then you think they can only get better. If you give them an off season, if you give them a spring, if you give them fall camp, more times with some of the new guys that are coming in, they can only get better. So you expected Cade Klubnik to build on the momentum that he had from last season and come out in that first game against LSU, a team that people had a lot of questions about. Let's just be real. We have a lot of new guys that are coming in, and the question was like, how well were they going to play in their first game? I think people expected more from him because they expected him to build on some of the momentum that they saw last year. But I do think, to your point, that there are some things that they missed. They missed the fact that they were not going to be able to run the ball as effectively as they did last year, right? They missed the fact that they were asking a lot from some unproven players and that they still had to figure out some things with their wide receiver room. They have a great wide receiver room, but they did take an injury. So, you know, there's a chance that maybe people were a little too high on Clemson. They just looked at the talent, the blue chip ratio, maybe what they thought players were going to do. But at the same time, you can only react to what happened on the field. And what happened on the field is that the Tigers got busy, Joel. I'm talking about the LSU Tigers. They got busy. That's what happened on the field.
And that defense looked great. 67% blitz percentage against Cade Klubnik and made him look completely confused, going back to your earlier point, Joel.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, man, LSU looked really, really good. You know, it pains me to say it. You know, the thing is, though, I lived in Shreveport for 2 years. The only thing that'll end up making you
Congratulations for making it out.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was technically Bossier, but whatever. But the thing about living in Louisiana is that it'll make you hate LSU. Nothing will make you hate LSU more than LSU fans. We don't have to get into this, But I mean, like, when I was growing up, LSU was just like, if A&M beat LSU, it was like, of course. Like, I mean, who is LSU, right? And so it's just like, kind of the Johnny-come-latelyness of it. It's like, all right, man.
It's not true.
Calm down. You know, it's an 8-win program. Like,
it's not
cool.
true. It's not true. If you talk about if LSU was down in the 90s, we were definitely down. In, you know what?
In the 80s?
Hey, they won the SEC a couple of times in the 80s. Look, you know what? I'll let you have it. We're not going back. We're going forward here on Ring of Tailgate. New show. Right now, LSU 1-0. Right now, we're the national champs.
I'm proud of y'all, man.
We're the national champs of last Saturday. So I'm a live in the now, Joel.
Yeah, and Joel might be the number one hater of LSU, but the number two hater might be Dabo Swinney. After the game, he said it was like getting the final exam on the first day of class. They made a 65. We made a 58. And Brian Kelly immediately responded to that with his own thoughts, basically saying Dabo must have missed the second half where they dominated. So Dabo, he's on the board as well, Van.
By the way, I'll let you look to that. Thank you, Dabo. All right, thank you, Dabo. Because not only did Clemson make LSU look good on Saturday night, Dabo made Brian Kelly look cool, and that's harder to do than it is to beat the LSU Tigers when you're on the field with them.
Made him likable.
Brian Kelly look cool, letting Brian Kelly get this shit off. That's the one thing that we've been worried about, really. The whole time we've been worried, like, do we have a cool coach? Do we have a coach? Do we have somebody that people don't hate? Because he has to be our guy. Because we're going for Ogeron. Ogeron, even if he was having sex with the boosters' wives or whatever was going on, he was a guy that everybody liked, right?
So cool.
Everybody liked. Like, hey, go Tigers.
I feel like he was made in a lab to be the coach of the Tigers.
And then we bring in a guy that literally nobody likes. But Dabo gives him a layup and lets him win a victory. Thank you, Dabo. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and a 65 means there's room for growth as well. So LSU looked great in game one, but they can get up to 100, and there's a lot of echelons to grow. My big reaction, Notre Dame, Miami. Miami, if you go just to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and just, put in quotes, Miami is back. You can go, 2023, even last year against Florida, right? I mean, it goes back like 15 years of Miami is back. It's the favorite take of opening week. We saw it last year when they blew out Florida. Miami is back, but they do look back in this game. Dare I say Carson Beck is also back. During the offseason, everyone called him a loser, got his Lambo stolen, dated a Cavender twin, right? There was a lot of off the, field nonsense happening, but in this game, he's crying afterwards. They're calling him a winner. He looked great, had an incredible pass to CJ Daniels. We can talk about that catch a little bit later, but Notre Dame, they fought back in that fourth quarter, 17-3. Ruben Bain was sort of the guy to kind of highlight on the Miami side as well. Malachi Toney, 6 catches, 82 yards and a touchdown. So it was a good night for the U. You got Michael Irvin on the sideline going crazy. So this was in kind of in vogue with what we do with college football. I would dare say that Miami looks like they're back. Joel, do you believe that they're back?
I mean, I don't think. It depends on what you mean by back. Like, do I think that they're Andre Johnson, Ed Reed, Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee back?
G-Reg Olson.
Yeah, G-Reg from the 7th floor. No, I don't think they're that good. But do I think that they're about what they were last year, maybe a little bit better, like a potential a playoff contender, potential national champion if things come together? Yeah, I could see that happening. The one thing that was kind of cool, man, because I got so tired of watching Miami games on ESPN, like in the afternoon, and there'd be nobody in the stands. It looked kind of sad. I was like, man, damn, man, in Miami, nobody gives a shit anymore. But so to see the home stadium jumping like that, and I know it's not going to always be like that down there. I know how folks in Florida get down, man. Sometimes they find other stuff to do. But when they want to put it together, when they want to get behind that team, and it looks like that, that's kind of dope. The one thing I would say, though, too, bruh, Mario, you thought it was the best course of action was to settle for a 46-yard field goal with a guy that had won a kicking competition and was not that great. Like, that's the decision. I was like, bro, this is what you want to do? Like, this is how you want the game to come? You want the game to come down to that kid's foot? That's the kind of stuff that makes people think, that's the same old Miami of recent vintage. It's like, all right, they'll find a way to fuck it up. But, I think Miami's pretty good, and, they'll be there at the end.
Yeah, Mario's miracle.
I think back, in my opinion, means back to relevance. The Miami logo is so powerful, man.
Yeah, man.
That U is so powerful. And when you see that U, you just have an expectation of speed, defense, sometimes bruising, grinding players, sometimes players that run past you or run around you, but always dynamic athletes. That's what you expect to see when you see that logo. It might be, for all intents and purposes, the most devastating logo in college football. The one where you see it and you go, damn, we in for it, right? Now, I'm not saying they've always been the most overwhelming teams, but when Miami is good, Miami is unfucking stoppable, right? And to see that logo be on losing teams year after year, not just losing teams that don't have an identity, teams that nobody is afraid of, teams that nobody cares about. That's when the U is not back. When the U is back is when the logo actually means something. When you see Michael Irvin, who knows the last time he slept, up and down the sideline going crazy. And is that back? Going to take a little while to see, but it's backer than it used to be. I think that Cristobal has the program moving in the right direction. I think we're going to see the U really being back when you see them being able to really harvest Miami for a lot of the fertile recruits that are around there and get those guys that run those 4.3 40s, those big crazy linebackers, those guys on the backside of the defense. The offensive line is going to be fine with him coaching. Those dominating players, when you start to see them suit up for the U again, then you're going to say that the U is actually back. To me, that was the best played game this past weekend. It was a game really played and competed at a high level with two teams where you knew that there was going to be one mistake or one break that was going to tell the story of the game. Notre Dame lost, obviously. They're disappointed, but they have no reason to have any different thoughts about their season than they did before they suited up and went to play Miami. Notre Dame played a good game. They need to clean some things up in terms of what they're giving up underneath. I think they got out schemed a little bit. I think maybe the young quarterback is going to take a little while to kind of get used to playing games on that level. But what I will say is they were tested, they rose to the occasion, and they came up short. I give a lot of credit to both teams in that game. Fantastically, really physically played game.
Yeah, C.J. Carr looked great. He had a no-look touchdown pass that was pretty incredible to see from a freshman. There was also the conversation about Jeremiah Love. Obviously, a lot of Heisman conversation, but he felt like he was on, to use a baseball term, like a pitch count.
They didn't give him the ball that much.
Yeah, it was like a touch count. He had 10 carries in that game. They were trying to do a lot of stuff with the bubble screens. That came back to backfire with the Ruben Bain interception. That was incredible. So I do think, you mentioned Marcus Freeman, right? There's still some steps to take for him, and I do feel like there's still lessons being learned, and maybe this is one of those games that helps kind of Notre Dame. They could win out the rest of the season. They beat Texas A&M in 2 weeks, and we're talking about them back in the playoff picture. So it can turn back quickly. But I agree with you, Van. I thought both teams looked really good.
Yeah, look. For me, the question of Miami season is all going to be about Carson Beck. We talked about this before. Carson Beck did not forget how to play football. He was in a situation that wasn't working for him anymore, and he had an injury. I think if he's in a situation down in Miami where he's got a strong offensive line, people can block for him, give him time to throw the ball, survey the field, both his ability to make throws and his ability to make the right decisions in the offense are really, really going to benefit the Hurricanes this year. I think they're going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a great season.
I think he's going to be fine. You know what I mean? The thing is, will he ever reach the heights of the expected top pick in the draft that he went into a little bit last year? No, I don't. I think we've seen enough to know that he's solid, but he ain't going to be that kind of a guy. But, with an offensive line, a little talent around him, the Malachi Tony guy, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff to work with down here. I don't want to root for him, man. I felt like Georgia fans were popping a lot of shit about him on social media this past weekend, and that alone makes me kind of want to see him thrive.
Yeah, and mention coming back. First fact here, first time since 2006 preseason that we have Florida, Florida State, and Miami all ranked in the top 15. So good news for all those programs down in Florida, and they're playing a lot of football in Florida. We had two one-handed catches, the C.J. Daniels catch and the Vernell Brown, the third catch, in the Florida game. I wanted to ask Joel, between those two catches, which one would you highlight? I mean, I feel like C.J. Daniels was already getting the Moss treatment.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy because Vernell, like, he catches it. It's like it's an OD, the Odell catch. He's got the hand.
It's great for
him.
LSU, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, but the ball kind of like bounces out like as he's falling back down, and he recatches it, so he kind of double catches it. I kind of feel like that Vernell Brown one, man, kind of got that CJ Daniels one, man. Look, it was pretty live. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Vernell.
Yeah, that's
CJ.
That's
the
an
CJ
upset.
catch also was demoralizing for Notre Dame. That's another thing. The CJ Daniels catch was demoralizing for Notre Dame. It was a situation on a drive where Notre Dame needed a stop, and when the ball leaves Beck's hands, it's a confident throw, and you're like, where is it going? And then when you see the trajectory of the ball, it's an errant throw. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, if that guy doesn't make that catch, you're thinking that's a pick, right?
There's three Notre Dame guys right there.
The safety was like, as he went past it, he was like, oh shit, how did I miss that?
And Daniels just snatches victory out of the jaws of defeat. Just snatches the ball, and it's a demoralizing catch. It's one of those ones to where, like, when you're a fan, that turn comes so quick. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck? So I think that catch probably meant a little bit more, and the stakes were higher, man.
And last year, Georgia led the country in drops, right? So Carson Beck obviously had his own frustration. So to go from leading the country in drops to having a guy having a ridiculous one-handed catch in traffic, that is probably the reason why he was crying after the game, right? He just felt great about that turn. So shout out to Miami. Shout out to Notre Dame. That was a really, really fun game. We do have a new number one in the country. Obviously, Texas loses at Ohio State. Ohio State now, according to the AP poll, is the number one team in the country. But I wanted to ask you guys this. One big question, Joel. Who is the actual number one team in the country? And it can't be Ohio State, but in your opinion, based on what we've seen so far, who's actually number one?
Oh, no, it's Ohio State. I mean, to beat a man, you got to beat the man, And look, I was a little hard. I know people call me a hater or whatever. I was a little hard on Julian Sand on Saturday. I've had a chance to kind of rewatch a little bit, and I was like, he had some the drops kind of hurt him a little bit. He was a little bit more solid than I thought. And so I do want to see him figure it out, though. Like, I do want to see them be able to. I don't want them to have to use, bubble screens and, all that other stuff to scheme up to get Jeremiah Smith the ball. Like, I want to be able to get him the ball out on the perimeter, right? And out deep down the field. Like, I don't like the way that offense looked a little bit, but maybe he'll grow into that. And I would like to see them, create some more running lanes for James Peoples and CJ Donaldson. But all that said, I mean, they have just an incredible amount of talent. On defense, they look like they were in midseason form, right? Like, I mean, they got Arvell Reese, they've got Caleb Downs, who I think if I had a Heisman ballot, I feel like I should have one. I mean, one of us should have one, right? I feel like we should be able to get a Heisman ballot out of that.
Why did you get a Heisman ballot? What
all of us.
I've covered college football quite for a long time.
Well, why haven't they? Then the question you should be asking yourself is why you don't have one then.
He's asking us.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it out there. Maybe because I haven't asked directly for somebody. I mean, Dan Le Batard's daddy had a Heisman vote. Okay,
nice.
So I feel like Poppy had one. So
okay,
yeah. So I feel like I deserve one. But Caleb Downs, if I had to pick, he would probably be my leader for a Heisman candidate right now. I think he's the best player in the country. So they have a lot to work with. I think they have a sort of manageable schedule. I think they'll probably end up as number one. So yeah, I think that they're the actual number one team in the country.
Well, I mean, who's the best team in the country? I don't know. I don't know who the best team in the country is. We only got 1 week. Who the number one team in the country is? I think you guys know what I'm going to say.
Georgia.
Penn State.
Penn State.
LSU Tigers.
They were number two.
Tigers. Ohio State definitely has a claim, right? They beat the number one team. They did it on their field, and they did it where there's still some questions left to be asked about Ohio State. I think that's the difference between Ohio State and LSU right now. I think LSU showed competence in all areas of the game, and that includes the defensive coaching staff, Blake Baker and the guys who I haven't given enough credit to. Listen, you guys, you're listening to the podcast right now. You do not have to worry about me being an LSU homer all year. You don't. I'm podcasting for you, not for me. right? I picked LSU to lose to Clemson because I legitimately thought that LSU would lose to Clemson. But they did not lose. And what I saw was a defensive line that was able to generate pressure, a coach that was able to dial up pressure, the backside of the defense able to hold up against one-on-one coverage in scheme, zone, and man. I also saw a linebacker core, the Weeks brothers, and Harold Perkins, able to make tackles in space and generate pressure. The offensive line held up. The receivers were able to make plays when they mattered. And Joe Sloan, the offensive coordinator from LSU, I have to give him credit. He realized that he was playing an offensive line that had been together for a while. So what did he do? He schemed up quick looks, used eye candy to get the linebackers off of honing in on what was happening in the backfield, give them some stretch, run things across the middle, and shorter stuff to make sure that the line didn't have to block for too long, right? So what I saw was a team that knows its identity, knows where its strengths are, and knows how to go win ball games, and that's what they did. I can't say that about most other teams that I saw tested like that. Ohio State, great team. I still have questions about Sam's ability to play in a situation where he's going to be a little bit more challenged, where he's going to have to be asked to do a little bit more, right? The wide receivers did not get open. They dropped balls. Like, I'm not saying that Ohio State isn't the best team in the country. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that if I was to look right now and say which team put on a performance that makes me think that they're the number one team as you're voting, I would say that was the LSU Tigers.
And you got the argument, right? It would be Nussmeier. If we just did a neutral site, the SEC, the old SEC argument, right? If we did neutral site game, Ohio State, LSU right now, Nussmeier versus Sayin, you would feel pretty good about Nussmeier in that situation, right? So, I mean, the LSU defense looks the part. You got the quarterback that looks like an NFL quarterback playing at the college level. Those are the reasons why you kind of buy into the LSU hype. I'll back you up, Van, just so it doesn't feel like a little homer thing. You know what I mean?
There you go.
You're part of big LSU, just like
I'm part of big LSU. But I will say this, though. There's still a lot of teams that are left to have their say. Penn State still is left to have its say. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Ohio State, we have not seen the best football from Ohio State. We haven't. We haven't seen the best football from Ohio State. There's in these coming weeks, we're going to watch how these teams play, and we're going to have a better understanding of how to use these votes. But I think the most impressive complete victory of last weekend was LSU going on the road to Clemson. And really, the game was 17-10, but that was a game that LSU really dominated. And so I would say that they were number one.
Yeah, I think it was better than a 65 to tag it back to Dabo. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you mentioned the weeks ahead. We got week 2 games that we're going to preview. Not as big, not even close to as big as week 1, but still some fun games on the board. We'll break those down. We'll also do Big Van on campus, and we'll guess the storylines coming up in week 2. We'll be right back after the break. Ringer Tailgate is brought to you by FanDuel. Ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel's got a boost you don't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys, and it's given everyone a college football profit boost every single week. And this week, if you like Michigan, a lot of people are hot on Oklahoma. They like John Mateer. If you believe in the Wolverines and Bryce Underwood, might be something that could tickle your fancy. So here's how it works. Each week, we're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. No opt-in gymnastics, no invite-only nonsense. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy, it's fun, and it's only FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/tailgate to download the app and check out Boostin' with the Boys offer and get in on all the action. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, we're back. Ringer Tailgate, having fun. Week 1 was a lot of fun. I forgot to ask you guys before we get to week 2. LT, there was a moment where he's talking to Michael Jordan up in the box. The cameras are on him, and he asked a question to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan gives him the classic harsh no. I wanted to lob that up to you, Van. What did LT ask Michael Jordan? And then we can move on to week 2, because we might not even talk about Bill Belichick and Carolina football again the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear what he asked him. You guys know what he asked him.
Where's the bathroom?
Nah, that's not what he asked him. What he asked him was, Mike, you trying to go on these hoes later?
Yeah, well, see, that's
that's definitely what he asked him.
His
Mike,
wife
where the
was
hose
there.
at?
Yeah, Mike, where the hoes at? Like, Mike, you trying to get on these hoes later? And Mike is like, not with you. I might end up with a mugshot. Not with you. So he's not. Mike. He hugged him. It was cool. A lot of people thought it was like Trump related. Nah, LT not coming at Mike that way. Mike not gonna get political. But he's like, Mike, we here in Chapel Hill. You know what I'm saying? We can relive our glory days. Where the hoes at? Mike was like, they're nowhere.
Yeah, he said it's not 1981. Yeah,
it's not with you, my friend.
Yeah, no.
I can't. Not with you. No,
Yeah,
I know.
he ain't gonna hang out. You would need Charles Oakley if you're gonna hang. If Michael Jordan was gonna hang out with LT, he would need Charles Oakley.
Or like Mad Max. Like, yeah, he needed like a buffer. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like he needed a buffer crazy person to get in the middle of him.
I just say it right now, man. Like, Mike, if you can hear me, I don't know if you listen to Ringer Tailgate. Just don't let it happen to you, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
The longer we see these guys, man, we always get a devastating headline from these heroes. We get these devastating headlines, It's like weird thing, like the craziest shit. Like, could you have imagined that we would have been in the situation with Bill Cosby that we're in now?
Oh,
Who would have thought that, right? Mike, Jordan, fucking Michael Jordan, 23. Don't
stay
fail
safe.
us.
Yeah.
Just keep it real, bruh. Don't let me wake up one day and see Michael Jordan arrested in Venezuelan stink. None of that. I don't want to see none of that. Stay away from LT, bruh. Don't let LT get you fucked up, Mike. Stay away from LT, man.
That's a good message right there. Let's get to our messages and our, explanations for what we expect to see this week. We got college game day going to Michigan at Oklahoma. Bryce Underwood, first impression. Wow. He looked great. Obviously, John Mateer is on a lot of Heisman conversations. Let's start there with that game, Joel. Michigan, Oklahoma. What do you expect to see? And do you think this will be, quote unquote, the best game of the weekend?
I think it'll be the most high-profile game of the weekend. I mean, it's the only one, with a couple, not the only one with both teams ranked, but the highest-ranked teams meeting each other. I mean, the thing I think about for this one is that, so Brent Venables is sort of in that situation where he has to win this year. Like this, he has to show some proof of concept.
Would be nice.
Right? Yeah, it would be nice. Like Oklahoma, like Texas has just rocketed right past you. Right. So that like they dominated you last year. They've played in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Oklahoma's not used to that. Oklahoma's used to having Texas under its thumb. So Brent Venables needs this game. And I think the good thing about it is that you get to play against a freshman quarterback, right? The unfortunate part is that you have to play against that freshman quarterback.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right. But I still think a freshman is a freshman. If one thing Brent Venables can do is he can cook up a defense that'll confuse a young quarterback. So I think that's I feel like Oklahoma should win this game. And I think on Michigan's side of it is like they're playing with house money, man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expects them to win. They got the freshman quarterback. They've not been good on offense. They kind of, trying to get back to where they were from a couple years ago. Like, they can kind of hang loose a little bit, right? They can go in there kind of loose and like, nobody expects us to win. Let's see what happens. And so they may play looser than you expect, but I still think, Oklahoma, they'll show something. And man, I'm ready to see Mateer. I've not really seen Mateer yet this year. I didn't get a chance to watch him last week. So I'm excited to see like what Mateer looks like playing at home and, what that offense is going to look like too.
I tell you what, Mateer better play well.
A lot of hype.
Because he better play well, because if he has 5 straight incompletions, people are going to start wondering what the over-under is. You know what I'm saying? So, Mateer
Moneyline
better play
Mateer
well.
coming back.
Like Mateer better play well. That's an interesting game now. That's a game with a team that we're expected to be, that we expect to be, should I say, improved in Oklahoma, and a team that has a lot of talent and a lot of questions and a really shiny freshman quarterback in Michigan. Watching Bryce Underwood, back in the day we went to Memphis, my homie Ian was hollering at this girl, and he made a fool of himself. Now, that girl went on to be something, okay? She would be something special.
Really?
All right?
Ceruti?
And Ceruti. And every time, we see her, we think, damn, dog. That's how LSU fans feel looking at Bryce Underwood, man. Just every time damn, man, wouldn't have been this year, it might have been next year. But still, though, have high hopes for the young man. watched his game last week, thought that he looked fantastic. He actually was the second most impressive freshman quarterback that I saw because the kid from Cal was dealing. How long do they hold on to him? How long can he be up there with the Galaxy brains in Berkeley before Alabama comes to a long call in for him? He was dealing up there. So that's probably the most interesting game for me. The sneaky, dangerous game, though, if I may jump you
please.
A little bit. South Florida at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, Florida won. It is not like DJ Lagway ripped up the scene. Go look at what DJ Lagway's QBR was from last week. I'm not saying he can't play. The kid can fucking play. DJ Lagway can play. Florida has blue chippers, 5 stars everywhere, and they have something that they didn't have at the beginning of last year. They have belief. Billy Napier has figured out how to correct the culture there to where they believe in what it is that they're doing, and they think that they are good. They're going to get the opportunity to prove that they are good when South Florida comes to town, because what we saw from South Florida last week is that is a team with grit and determination that also believes in themselves and sneaky talented. That's going to be a tougher game for Florida than people think that it's going to be. And I wonder, with all of the traps that they have on their schedule, that is a tough schedule that Florida has.
They have the toughest schedule in the world.
Right, which are they looking at South Florida as one of those challenges? And if they don't get up for the game, what'll happen?
They go from USF to LSU, Georgia, Texas. I mean, bro, look, I mean, they've got they're at is that right? They're at A&M, the Georgia, at Ole Miss. They close the season with Florida State. I mean, that's not fair, man. Billy Napier, if they fire you, man, that's not your fault, dog. I don't know who. I mean, the SEC is the SEC. But it's like y'all couldn't mix in a Vandy. I mean, where's Mississippi State? You know what I mean? Kentucky. Like they need something like that. So anyway, but yeah, I agree. Like that's going to be a great game. The funny thing about USF though is that having lived in Tampa a little bit, I feel like USF plays good against everybody except their in-state rivals. Like I feel like whenever they play against like Florida State or UF or whatever, Miami, they beat their ass. But USF will show up. They had Alabama. Nick Saban era Alabama in a dogfight a couple years ago. I don't know if people remember that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game was tied late into that game. But I feel like whenever they show up against like the Floridas or whatever, that they always it just never materializes in quite the way. It would be nice for them to sort of change that for this time, though.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
In your life, have you been involved in illicit, illegal activity?
Hey, go ahead and clip this, Kyle.
Are you who you asking for?
I'm asking because whenever we have
Taylor.
a conversation about college football and where it takes place, you always have a question about a different place that you've lived. And since we have been doing the podcast, this is the 4th different place. I've known that you've lived in, if it's okay for me to say,
go for it.
Northern California.
Okay.
You live on the East Coast now.
Mm-hmm.
And in this very show, you've both lived in Tampa.
Yeah.
In Shreveport.
And in Shreveport.
Okay.
Now, my brother in Christ, I know Shreveport. Okay? I understand Shreveport. Nobody moves.
Are you on the lam?
To Shreveport.
Man, I love Shreveport, man. Shreveport's my shit, bro. Man.
Look, nobody moves to Shreveport. Shout out to Shreveport. Port City, as they call it. I'll tell you, I'm from Baton Rouge. I don't fuck with it. Like, nobody moves to Shreveport. 50 got a lot of stuff going there. But I'm looking at you all over. Are we going to, like, be looking at this and, like, halfway through the season, we going to get some news about Joel? Like, what's your... like, why you been around this much, bro?
Nah, man, you want me? I'll list the places I've lived.
Go for it.
Yeah, we need that. Yeah, please.
Fort Worth, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Houston.
By the way, Fort Worth and Dallas don't count, bro.
No, they do, because they're not the same place.
No,
the airport has tricked everyone, right?
So Fort Worth and Dallas. So you saying like you lived in L.A. and Sherman Oaks
in Riverside County. You know what I'm saying? Maybe San Diego. They're not that close, and they don't fuck with each other. It's very different cities. What I said, Shreveport, Tampa. Lived in Tampa twice.
Nah, you dealing dope.
Atlanta.
Nah, you dealing dope. Nah, I don't even want to hear it. You went back to Tampa. You dealing dope. You like
Atlanta, New York. I lived in Brooklyn and Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
Brooklyn
DC.
and Harlem. Okay.
Okay.
Frank Lucas. All right.
Yeah. Is that it? I think that's. I said it. Yeah. That's it. That's all.
Oh yeah, he's cutting out cities now. You're on to it, man.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Okay. I'm just saying.
If journalism may be a legal activity in this country at some point. Ooh. But I had to work at a lot of small newspapers.
Oh, so you were market hopping.
I was market hopping. Yeah.
He's working.
I've been working, man. Wood shopping, bro. Yeah.
There you go.
Journalism doesn't play. You graduate from journalism school and they're like, the job we got you is in, you're like, I've never heard of this city. And it's in, it's in Bismarck and you got to go to North Dakota.
Shout out Brooksville, Florida. I worked in Brooksville, Florida, named after Preston Brooks. You know what Preston Brooks is not famous for, huh?
No, what's he famous for?
Man, he caned Senator Sumner on the congressional floor because over abolition. It was related to slavery. Preston Brooks was on the side of the enslavers. Okay.
Okay. So Preston Brooks back.
Preston Brooks. Yeah. Preston Brooks got his get back and beat him up. And I think Charles Sumner may have died not long after that. Anyway,
do you know what happened in the story?
Yeah, well, I just said it. Preston Brooks beat Senator Sumner's ass. And a city in Florida was excited about it, and they named that city after Preston Brooks.
I want to hear more about Joel's travels throughout the year. I swear to God. I want to hear more about it because I want to hear more about Joel's travels throughout the year.
There's nothing better than local news, right? You know what I mean? Like when you get the actual boots on the ground coverage.
I love this country, man. I've been to every corner of it.
Yeah. Shout out. Favorite other matchups. Obviously, those are kind of the big ones. You got the rivalry games, Kansas, Missouri. That's going to be a good one. Iowa State as well. They got big noon kickoff going there to Ames, Iowa. But favorite other matchup on the board, Joel, I'll go to you first, that you're excited to watch. Might not be the most tantalizing game for the casual fan, but you're excited to see.
Iowa State at Iowa, man. I think that'll be kind of a fun game. The Cy-Hawk, rivalry. Man, this makes me feel old. Did you know that if Kirk Ferentz wins that game, he's going to surpass Woody Hayes as the winningest coach in Big Ten history?
I saw that quote. He was shocked by it. Yeah.
That is crazy to me. I did not realize it. I mean, life just passes you by. But, man, we talked about all these other quarterbacks that have looked really good. Garrett Nussmeier, Julian Sand, Bryce Underwood, all this guy. Man, Rocco Beck's been really good this year, bro. Mm-hmm. He's been really good. And Iowa State played so well coming back from Ireland. I was shocked that Iowa State had a game so soon that they had played in Ireland. But they looked really good. Meanwhile, Kansas State was fighting for its life first.
Yeah, they looked bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they looked bad. And so it says something to me. And so allegedly Iowa has a quarterback, Mark Gronowski, came from the FCS. I think it was South Dakota.
I like allegedly they have a quarterback because that kind of describst Iowa football.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, allegedly, this is the first time, maybe since Brad Banks, they've had somebody they're excited about. Mm-hmm. And I think they call him FCS Tebow or something like that. But that dude, man, I don't know if you looked at his numbers against Albany, and I ended up kind of looking at some of his play. If they say that dude is good, okay, it must have happened all in practice because I didn't see it against Albany. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that game because there's just going to be a lot of dynamics, and it's always a fun game, man. They always go down to the wire or whatever. So yeah, that'd be the one I'm
They're great fan bases, by the way. Iowa State. I mean, in basketball, same thing. Like they hate each other, and it's in Ames, so like all the Iowa people are talking shit about Ames. Like it's a very, very special local rivalry. So we love to see that. Van, favorite other matchup on the board for you?
The Ohio State band versus the Grambling band. Now, Grambling. If you guys don't know, one half of the Bayou Classic tandem, Grambling and Southern. Grambling has a fantastic band. Okay, now
are they the best band in the land though? That's what Ohio State claims.
No. First of all, that's the Southern University Human Jukebox jukebox, okay? Don't make me get started. Don't make me
Ocean of
call
Soul, though, man.
Terrence Too Cold Jackson on the phone, one of the greatest drum majors in college football history. I call TJ right now. TJ somewhere, probably enjoying his family. He'll hit a back band right now. Don't make me get on the human jukebox train, Southern University, the Dancing Dolls down there in Baton Rouge. That's the best band. But Grambling Band is fire, I'm not going to lie. They fire. College bands, black bands, they fire. There's no line for this game, okay? The actual football game, Ohio State versus Grambling. Grambling State is an FCS team from Ruston, Louisiana, Grambling, Louisiana. That's right around the corner from Louisiana Tech, who LSU is playing this week. The game is too lopsided. There's no line yet. There might be a line a couple hours before the game comes out. The fact that the game is that lopsided on the field, that's how lopsided it is with the bands. Only Ohio State thinks that their band is amazing. But their band is an amazing band in a different type of way. See, their band is an amazing band in the way that Metallica is an amazing band. And Grambling's band is an amazing band in the way that the Jackson 5 is an amazing band.
Mm-hmm. They're both rock and roll.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go Isley Brothers, but I like that.
Isley Brothers, Jackson 5, Mint Condition, The Roots, Kool and the Gang, whoever it is. That's the way that Grambling's band is amazing. The Ohio State band, that's Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Metallica. That's Led Zeppelin. So it's two different versions of great. However, the Grambling band is going to do what the Grambling football team can't do, which is fuck over Ohio State at home. That's what's going to happen. And that the Ohio State band ain't ready. Hang on, Sloopy. Ain't going to get it done. All right? It's not going to get it done against Grambling. I tell you, I see this band. It's not going to get it done. Grambling going to come in there. They're going to play first-person shooter. They're going to play Not Like Us. They're going to play records that them people, they're going to play Swag Surf. All the people in there, it's not going to work. That's what the HBCU bands do. They can't beat these big schools, so they take it out on them at halftime. That's the biggest matchup to me of the weekend.
Man, the funny thing. I love that. The funny thing is because, nobody is ever like, man, I was just going to the Ohio State game so I could see the Ohio State band. But that's what happens with Grambling and Southern and Jackson State, the Sonic Boom on the South, or the Ocean of Soul, TSU represent.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's right. People will go to those games just to actually go see the band. So
we're trying to have a good time. Yeah. We love the football. Don't get us wrong, but you get out there, you hear the records you like. You hear the announcer over the mic, man. One of the funniest things, bro, I gotta say, I know we gotta go get past, but when Prime was getting ready to leave, I don't know if I've talked about this yet. When Prime was getting ready to leave Jackson State, Southern Band was performing, and you guys can put this in if you want, but our guy on the mic, our announcer on the mic, while they was performing, was like, Jackson State, Prime took the bag. He big balling now. We told you he wasn't swag. This is happening.
Shout out to the
during
swag.
the game. This is after he's made the guy. He's like, 1, 2, 3. Prime about to be big balling. We told you he wasn't swag, and and the whole team can hear it, and we laughing because that's how we celebrate. Ohio State, they're gonna get some culture, and then it's not gonna work out for Grambling on the field, but at halftime they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the people in Columbus start tapping their toes, swaying a little bit, start moving to the music, and they might catch a vibe. That's sort of what you're saying. Grambling State might make them catch a vibe, but that'll be good. One other game I wanted to highlight, just because of the sparring of words, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Mike Gundy versus Dan Lanning, a lot of back and forth. Gundy calls out Oregon for paying their players. Dan Lanning responds by basically saying you got to spin to win. And then Mike Gundy on his radio show this afternoon, right before we were about to record, said this: they're considering covering up their Nike logos with duct tape on Saturday. They're not interested in that pay to win stuff they got going on over there. So why would they support it? Basically calling out Nike as well. Joel, you seemed a bit riled up by this. Your thoughts on Gundy versus Lanning?
Well, first of all, this is T. Boone Pickens University.
Right.
Okay.
Which has also been getting Nike money for a long time. Shout out to John Lucas III, my guy.
Is it a problem for you when you play against, Langston University or something like that? Right. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, y'all spending money. Y'all got money. Y'all giving resources and anything else. But also, Oklahoma State, it's time. it's time. Get Mike Gundy out of there, man. He's gonna fuck it up for y'all. Like, he's the best coach in the history of that program. But he's gonna fuck y'all up talking like that in public, man. You know, them kids don't want to hear nothing about that. Oh man, they over there paying people. Well, shit, maybe I need to get recruited by Oregon then. You say y'all saying y'all not paying? All these other schools in the Big 12 are paying. What are y'all trying to do? So nah, man. Or Oklahoma State. I think it's time to put Mike Gundy out the pasture, man. I mean, he had his little thing with the, during 2020 or whatever, and what shirt did he wear? What was the
I honestly, 2020 feels like 15 years ago.
I'm not gonna bring it up.
It's like 50 years ago. Look, I tell you something, man. Well said, Joe. Mike Gundy, you got two choices: get your money up or shut up. Just get your money up or shut up. Mike Gundy complaining about the spending that's going on in college football is like these guys I see on Twitter complaining about having to pay for a lady when they take them out for dinner. That's what you do.
It's called chivalry. Yeah.
That's what you do. If you don't want to pay for the dinner, then don't go out with the girl.
You got to pay to play.
Get your money up, take her to the Cheesecake Factory and see what happens. If you don't do that, then shut up. Mike Gundy, the world has changed, bruh. No one wanted it, by the way. Nobody asked for it. Now, the players got together, Ed O'Bannon, and they were able to advocate for themselves. But nobody who's a college football fan asked for a new college football world overnight. Transfer portal, NIL, all of these other things. Everybody's still juggling them. But this is the world that we live in, and you got two choices. Get your money up or shut up. Go play the game. And Joel is right. Y'all been had T-Boone Pickens helping y'all out. Big billionaire back. The money didn't just get to college football. It just got to college football players legally, because we know some of that stuff. I see y'all driving around Baton Rouge. But I'm saying, I just hate this. This is a loser mentality. This is a complaint Karen mentality. And you are right. It does not look like strength. It does not look attractive to recruits. It does not look like real leadership from Mike Gundy to the rest of his players. It looks like he's complaining about a loss that the team has not suffered yet.
Cop and please already.
Go out there, take the field with the players that you got. Get your money up, get your players motivated, and play the game, and stop doing this pathetic ass shit in the media.
And his most signature moment, right, is the "I'm a man, I'm 40," right? That was kind of it still goes back to that. He just did a commercial, kind of, doing that whole bit again. If you were born the year that he did "I'm a man, I'm 40," you would be a freshman in college right now at Oklahoma State.
Damn, is that true?
Yeah, 18 years.
He's like 58, man. Yeah.
I'm a man, I'm 40 was 18 years ago?
18 years ago. So,
Robbie Reed. Shout out. That's who.
How long can that keep you afloat is really the question there. But Dan Lanning's going to make him remember the name this weekend.
You sound broke. You sound broke, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, relax.
You sound broke.
By the way, he's been a great coach for him.
Right.
They put great teams on the field. Like, go out there and play the game. Oregon got money. By the way, Oregon has money. It hasn't bought them any national championships. So we'll see what Oregon is able to do. But don't go out there with your tail tucked between your legs before the ball even gets kicked off. You look crazy.
And that's why Texas didn't want to fuck with y'all, man. That's why Texas was like, well, man, y'all not being serious. That's why I'm going to go to the SEC. That's the kind of mentality is with a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, y'all don't want to pay? All right, man, let's go over here with people are actually serious about this enterprise.
Yeah, and we're going to pay for sure. Last big thing we want to hit here, big Van on campus. There's a lot of rumblings, a lot of things happening on campus. And Van, I turn it over to you. What is grinding your gears this week on campus?
So normally, big Van on campus, we choose one thing to talk about, but we have to do two here.
I like a 2-for-1.
You like a 2-for-1. I enjoy that as well.
So does Mike Gundy.
Yeah. First of all, Ryan Day. I have to talk about Ryan Day. Now, before, very important win for Ryan Day in his career at Ohio State, was a picture that came out. And this picture showed Ryan Day in his Ohio State polo. It was a close-up on one of his nipples. I think it was the left. And if you look at this picture, it is reasonable to conclude that Ryan Day has a nipple ring. Now, a lot of people looked at this in a different way or whatever. I loved it for two reasons. Number one, it made me think something. I think that the nipple ring that Ryan Day has in his left nipple is actually his Ohio State championship ring. I think he took the ring, put it on the nipple ring, and he's wearing it on his left nipple to show his players that there's different ways you can express yourself, and I'm here for y'all. But here's the thing. Ryan Day, seriously, if you gonna have the nipple ring, you gotta beat Michigan. You gotta beat Michigan. You have to. Having a nipple ring is actually a sign of greatness, y'all. Think about the people that we know that have nipple rings. Rihanna, Lenny Kravitz, Janet Jackson, Dennis Rodman. These are some of the greats.
Mount Rushmore, baby.
What they
right there.
do. When you have a nipple ring and you exist in society, that means that you are so secure at what it is that you're doing that nobody can't tell you shit. I got the nipple ring, my shit feel better. That's what Ryan Day is doing, but you gotta beat Michigan. And not only do you have to beat Michigan to rock this nipple ring with pride, which you should have to do, I have something for Ryan Day. If you beat Michigan in Ann Arbor this year, where I looked it up, the temperature is projected to be like 34 degrees, let me tell you what Ryan Day should do. In the cold, in front of everybody.
Pop the top.
Take the shirt off, okay? Take the shirt off and flick the Ohio State championship nipple ring
at the people
in front of 110,000 people in Ann Arbor. Don't hide the nipple ring, because what happened is they came back and they didn't want to show it no more. Show everybody. Do what you haven't done against Michigan thus far. Get nasty. Get dirty. And we know you can because you got a nipple ring. So take that ring and put that in your psyche and your consciousness and go get that win. And if you don't get that win, you don't deserve to wear the nipple ring. Wow. Ryan Day.
Man.
The Nike dry fit never lies.
I just never got over, Common and Thelonious said, you run like a nigga with his nipples pierced. And I always have just had kind of a thing about it since then. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's probably latent homophobia or something like that. I probably need to get over that.
Work on yourself.
I mean, look, man, we can all strive to be better. But
absolutely.
I thought we were on the Bama message boards there for a second.
Yeah.
Wow. They hate him. They don't like him.
I used to put clear polish on my
all right, there you go.
I put clear polish on my nails for a long time until my dad looked at my nails one day and he was like, "No, son. No."
We should get him to coach Alabama.
I was like, "No, son." And so I've been doing the shiny buff ever since. All right. Second part of Big Van on Campus. I'm sorry, guys. There was something that happened, and I don't know if people saw it. LSU beat Clemson on the field, but Clemson got a victory. There was a kid who was up in the nosebleeds who, after LSU gets the fourth down stop to win the game, flips off a gentleman from Clemson. And this gentleman...
blatantly, yes. Very brazenly, yes.
Gets right in his face. And then all of a sudden, this kid finds out. Because this gentleman hems him up.
ACC,
in a split
baby.
Second. I just want to talk to this kid real quick. Bro, you let the whole city down, dog. Okay? You let the whole city down.
You let the state down, yeah.
We can't do it like that, man. Don't do that shit again, bro. First of all, you have slower reflexes than Chris Rock. When Chris Rock was on stage and Will Smith walked up to the stage, I still wonder in my mind what Chris Rock thought that Will Smith was about to do. Will Smith walked up to Chris Rock and smacked the shit out of him. This dude is old, man. This guy that turned around on this kid, this wasn't Peter Woods from Clemson. This was an older guy who just ran right up to him, hemmed him up, and the kid was just completely paralyzed, couldn't do anything. Made us all look bad as a state. And getting punished in the nosebleeds is doubly stupid because you should know that that's where it goes down. If this was fourth row, middle of the field, 50-yard line, them people got too much money to be fighting over a football game. But if you talk shit in the nosebleeds, somebody is going to make you pay for it. And I don't think he was up to the task of what he was doing, all right? Them kids, them people in the nosebleeds, they paying their kids college money to watch the games. They don't have it like that. So why do you think that this guy is going to let you flip him off in his face like that? Don't do that. Man, don't make us look bad.
You can do that at a neutral site, but on the road, in the venue. I mean, at the neutral site, you have a chance to get away, I should say. But in the actual Death Valley, like at a Clemson game, like you said, Van, they're paying for those. I mean, it's a wrap.
Don't y'all have enough people to fuck with in real life, like your friends? Like, what it makes somebody go to a game and start wanting to antagonizing strangers?
Whew.
You know, it happens.
So I have done it before, but but what I'm saying is we've done it before, and we were ready. We actually made friends, but also it's about picking your mark.
Right?
Yeah, it's about knowing who you can fuck with and who you could do that with. But after I'm on a high, I'm watching the game, and all I see is purple and gold getting hemmed up. He had his hands around that guy's throat, man. That boy almost ended up a hashtag. All I'm saying right now is, look, don't let us down. We got to win fights on the field and in the stands, man. I was very disappointed, man.
It was
man.
It was the Wyclef Dylon Chappelle show skit. You know what I mean? You're too close, man. Like he completely just choked him out immediately. It happened real quick. Yeah, it was tough. But big Van on campus, the 2-for-1. I love that. And LSU fans, hopefully that won't happen to any of them in the future as well. We don't condone violence on the show. We just laugh at it when it is funny. So, hopefully everybody's safe.
I do condone some violence, actually. So I just,
there you go. Hey, he's lived everywhere. He's lived everywhere. So, he knows where the balance is. A couple quick hitters before we get out of here. Wanted to shout out Lee Corso, 3.5 million viewers. Most watched episode of College Game Day, 6 for 6 on his picks. He also picked LSU to win the national championship, which, as Van pointed out earlier, might be a good pick if all things break their way this season. So shout out to Corso. Wanted to shout out to Lenora Sellers. He gave the game ball to Frank Beamer after the Beamer Bowl. Obviously, Frank Beamer watching his son Shane Beamer coaching that game. Thought that was a really cool moment. Also strange that Frank Beamer was wearing a South Carolina pullover. A lot of Virginia Tech fans in my life not happy about that.
Is something wrong with Frank Beamer? Is he he got some sort of sickness or something? Is he on death?
I think I don't know if he's doing, he's not his
doing
best.
Well.
Yeah, but
okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. I don't know the intricacies, but yeah. Okay. But it was nice to just see him there. And Shane Beamer, obviously, gets the win. Beamer ball and a special teams kickoff return. So it all kind of worked itself out. Kirby Smart calls out Georgia fans for leaving the game early. I thought that was fascinating. And then the last thing I wanted to get your thoughts on, Coach Prime. Have to mention him in the show. He says QB 5-star Julian Lewis is, quote, for sure playing this week.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow.
I mean, man.
That's the reaction I was hoping for. That's what when I saw that quote, I was like, my goodness. Okay, Here we go.
I don't know what this is in response to. I think there are a lot of people who, if they're looking for somebody to blame for the loss, they're going to look at clock management at the end of the game, or they're going to look at an offensive scheme that didn't really seem like it used Salter's skill set well enough. I'm literally putting my words together because I hadn't seen that, and that is to get off the bandwagon of your QB after one game is remarkable. That's remarkable.
Would it change your mind if you knew that they were playing Delaware?
No, and I'll tell you why. The reason why it wouldn't is because I think, actually, you know what? Maybe so.
He's just trying. Maybe he's getting some Arch Manning reps. Yeah.
Maybe he's just going to get him in at the end of the game. Let me not do my, because we had an overreaction week last week. Let me not overreact. But getting them on the field and giving them some experience is probably good, especially if it's a game where there's not much chance of you losing. Joel, that's actually a good point. So I wasn't sure who they were playing. But yeah, that getting them on the field is probably good in case you need to use them later on in the season and if it's not working out with Salter. So maybe I overreacted a little bit, but
you got to keep these boys. You got to keep these boys engaged, man. They start looking to go somewhere else.
I think
very
that's
true.
Yeah,
it's very true. Coach Prime, my bad, Coach Prime. I thought you was throwing Salter to the wolves. I like Salter. Thought you was throwing him to the wolves. So my bad, Coach Prime.
Yeah, it's all good. And I do think at some level, you're playing Delaware. They just bumped up to FBS. Shout out to the Blue Hens. But that might be a game for Colorado to, practice on some stuff, work out some guys. And like you said, Joel, get some reps in for a former 5-star. I like that. Again, I appreciate you guys. This has been Ringer Tailgate. Going to be a fun week. We will be live on Saturday. If you go to YouTube, go subscribe, go do all the things that we're supposed to promote on the show. You go follow us on Instagram, Ringer Tailgate. We're going to be doing this every single Saturday. The Saturday show is a whole lot of fun. We got to be live during the FSU unstructuring of Alabama football in real time. So it was a great time. We appreciate everybody tuning in. One more plug. We got the McShay Show live in Chicago. So if you're a fan of football, McShay, Minch, they're doing a great job over there. He was enamored with Garrett Nussmeier's performance, by the way. Said it was a masterclass fan. So McShay,
yeah.
He's all in on Nussmeier. And September 10th at Lincoln Hall. You can go check him out there. And should be a fun show.
Who else is going to be live with McShay at the show there? Who's going to be on the live show?
I think it's Minch, and I believe it's Big Cat is the Chicago guest. So, a little breaking of bread there between the two sides. So there you have it. The McShay Show. Go check it out. Go follow Ringer Tailgate on everything else. Van, Joel, appreciate you guys as always. And we will see you live on Saturday. Must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.